The scout, fast runner, great flanker, and a cocky bastard. The soldier, rocket launcher wielding maniac who can reach for the heavens. The pyro, the arsonist who is unloving, uncaring, and a sadist. The demoman, a drunken Scottish demolitionist who loves blowing stuff up. The heavy, tank of the team helped by his medic and Sasha. The engineer, the man keeping the team together with his tech and machines. The medic, make or break of the match, the one man with the healing medigun. The sniper, the professional assassin who can create no man lands with a shot of a bullet. And the spy, always right behind you. These 9 different playstyles, all fighting against and alongside each other. What a perfect concept to put in a game you can't play. Before I tell you how we can't play Team Fortress 2, we have to discuss the different ways of joining a server in TF2. In TF2, there are 6 different ways into getting into a game server. Firstly, at the top of the list, closest to the start playing button, is casual. We'll get back to that later. Secondly, we have competitive, where the active players is exactly equal to 0 and is locked behind an anti-free-to-play paywall. Thirdly, we have man versus machine, a PvE game mode which isn't a PvP game mode, so we'll skip that. That's Wheezy's territory. Fourthly, we have the community server browser, which is outdated, which makes sense since this is a mod of a mod of a mod of a game from 1990 and has a reputation of wacky fun, class wars, multipliers, and is not the first place you consider when playing pure vanilla TF2, as that's casual mode's job. Fifthly, we have training. You either play with bots or get taught barely anything about 4 of the 9 classes. And sixthly, we have creating your own server, which nobody will join aside from cheating bots. That's true. For certain periods of the day, anytime you launch a server without a password, please put a password for your private servers. That's SV password, your password. Hordes of cheating bots will join to ruin your server. It's sad. Though this video is about the first item in the list, casual mode. Within the menu of casual mode, you are greeted with a big list of maps and game modes. It's intended for you to pick and choose your maps to your liking, like a buffet, but a lot of people usually just tick the boxes for everything or certain game modes, like payload. Once you have made your choice of maps, go ahead and start queuing. Once you join a casual match, you are greeted with what seems to be a normal game of TF2. You can pick a class in a predetermined team and start shooting the bad guys. Usually. A lot of matches in casual are either structured in a best of 2, 1 go per team, or a best of 1. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the game. Or is it? Starting with the structure of casual, we can immediately see the apparent cracks in the system. The way casual is structured means we get very short games ranging from 4 minutes to 10 minutes before the door is shut and everyone leaves. Every single time. When you decide to stay, you see that there's only half or less the amount of people than before the round ended. An odd thing to mention is that even though the same map is chosen, the map still reloads. Why? Team Fortress 2 in the olden days used to have maps run for half an hour to 45 minutes, which was a plentiful amount of time to get sunk into a map and allows people to come and go as they please. Today within casual mode, you barely even play a match from start to finish, only joining midway, which means your playtime is cut short and you need to requeue more frequently. Even worse, the matchmaker doesn't care about the actual status of the server and plops you in, which leads to moments like this. Imagine you just downloaded the game for the first time. If you saw that, you would be extremely confused. Even worse, this is all too common where people join games that have just ended. Play a match until the end, then stay at the end screen and pay attention to the chat. You can see people joining while the doors are closed, telling people to go away. But when you do manage to get into a match that's not about to end, you'll find that there's a massive one-sided stomp, like in this clip where we get absolutely stopped at the spawn gate by the defending team on the second stage of Dust Bowl. It may be inconvenient to those experienced players because they can requeue, but new players will leave at the gate and not play TF2 ever again. Speaking of requeuing, whenever casual players experience the slightest inconvenience to their team or the match ends, they open the casual menu and press the queue button again. This is why there's a mass exodus of players after a match, as it's usually faster to requeue than to wait the full 15 plus time it takes to load into the next map, plus 60 seconds to play TF2 again. This is a fundamental problem as the losing team bleeds players and the stopping gets exacerbated, leading to the domino effect of more players requeuing, leading to an unfun experience. A positive thing about casual compared to its predecessor Quickplay is that you can pick and choose your own maps. But there's a massive limitation to this. Open the casual menu and look through the maps. You'll see a bar behind the text, and it's white and green on maps like 2 Fort, every single payload map, and all other core game modes of the game. But when you look down from core game modes to alternative game modes, you'll see that the bars are either gray or orange, and are extremely short. These are maps who receive a low amount of traffic, including Payload Race, which was added to the game in 2008. If you want to exclusively play on those lower traffic maps, get ready to wait. In fact, I used to exclusively play on alternative game mode maps, and I decided to make a map called Idle Queuing TF2. Its main purpose was to, well, wait around while you queue for a game. Back then, I didn't know that there was a problem with queuing for so long, as I joined in 2023. But when I published the map, I saw this very interesting comment, which read, "Team Fortress 2 is so immensely broken that you made a map for waiting, because so much of the game is nowadays is waiting to play it." Fuck, dude. Long queue times have been solved by a random update, but as you can see here, the effect just wore off. Just queuing for alternative game modes, you'll see seemingly long queue times, except if you're queuing for Decruit Keep or Hightower, which are the only two maps in alternative game modes which are popular. If you take those maps out of the equation, and also the Versus Hex and Hail maps, you'll get queue times that are so long that you'll just give up. This problem has been going on for so long that there's a channel dedicated for queuing for one map daily, and that map is Pipeline. For more than 180 days, you can see that these videos can amass up to hours in runtime, where the poor guy sits and waits while he queues for Pipeline. Another concern I have with casual is teams. In community servers, you can select your own teams and switch between teams. In casual, you are locked in a predetermined team with no way to switch other than auto balance, which is despised greatly, probably because you are locked into your team and are unable to move back. The fact that casual mode renders a game unplayable leads to new players uninstalling TF2 the moment that they joined. Forget about the game's complexity. Forget about the training not training anyone in TF2. The fact that you can't even play TF2 is why people are not sticking around. Not only is this damaging to the game's player count, but also Valve's bottom line, as these new players are not exposed to microtransactions and therefore not buying them. I started playing Team Fortress 2 in April of 2023 because it was a free source game. I started playing Team Fortress 2 with training bots because my internet sucked on my laptop at the time, and I wanted to improve my skills to transfer into a game with real player. I learned how to do voice commands and taunt from CSS. When I was looking through the voice command menu, I saw a weird little ninth option named Pass to Me. So I thought there was some weapon dropping system because I heard about picking up weapons and thought, maybe I could drop my weapon. And then I got Scout slapping his own ass. Now, when I was looking at TF2 YouTube, I heard something about the bot crisis and thought nothing of it. And then when I decided to play casual, I saw the bots with my own two eyes and thought it was just a freak occurrence. Until I saw one more, until I just decided to give up and play community server, where I settled on Uncletopia. I personally didn't stick with Uncletopia because of class restrictions, and the fact that Halloween is on 24/7. And then I decided to play some TF2 spin-offs like TF2 Classic before it became classified, the release build of TF2, the day one build, and TF2 Gold Rush. And I realized I had way more fun on these modes than on standard vanilla casual TF2. And after looking into Quickplay, I felt like I was scammed. Because of casual's inability to create full servers, this led to the bot crisis, which we should remember for the fact that Valve was willing to do nothing and was doing nothing until a contractor decided to just fix the game up all by himself for 2 years. And this bot crisis has distracted us away from casual. And now that the bots are gone, we can see why the bots existed in the first place. Another big factor in why casual stayed the way it did is toxic positivity. But we absolutely need to talk about this problem or else nothing will happen. We've sat and waited for more than 10 years at this point, and where did that get us? Nowhere! So here's what we can do. Make videos talking about the problem. Don't stop talking about the problem until we get Quickplay back. And to those who are complaining that Quickplay wasn't good, it's completely optional. You don't need to use Quickplay. You could use the server browser as well. That's how a lot of players were introduced to the server browser, but over the years it was improved right up until casual was introduced. So let me repeat this again. In order to get Quickplay back, we need to make as much noise as we can until we get Quickplay back. Heck, it doesn't even need to be called Quickplay. Maybe something like Fast Game would work. As long as the functionality of Quickplay is here, then I'm happy. Even if Quickplay was utter dog shit, at least I'll be able to play Team Fortress 2. Or alternatively, you could boycott the summer update that is coming around the corner, since Valve listens to the money. See, it's an easy path either way. We complain and make Valve look bad for neglecting one of their beloved IPs, or we can make Valve listen to the money and stop the flow of money coming in by not buying the crates and the keys. And the big reason why I decided to stay in TF2 was the source engine expertise, but I can't do that if there's no game to play. The only reason why nothing has done for 9 years again was that because we shut up, and that's what Valve wants us to do. But we will be quiet no longer. We need to be deafeningly loud to get this problem solved. Let me spell this out to you for the third time with an example. With Roblox, they did something bad. The players complained, the company does nothing about it, and now Roblox looks evil. But in TF2's case, the company does something bad, the players do not complain or barely complain or are shut down because of toxic positivity, the company still doesn't do anything about it, and the company doesn't look evil because nobody cares or notices. This is why complaining matters, as it makes Valve look terrible, which they are as a company, and if we make it apparent that Valve is evil, they'll do something about Team Fortress 2 and maybe, hopefully, bring back Quickplay. And so, I hold out hope that maybe Team Fortress 2 will be better, but I don't know. And what are you waiting for? If someone like me with minimal editing skills can make a video like this, why can't you? Go make videos now!